The sun rises higher, spilling gold across the marble floors of the balcony, but it feels like a cruel trick of light rather than warmth. I stand there unmoving, my hands gripping the cold stone railing, watching as the city beneath me stirs to life. Merchants shout their morning greetings, children laugh as they chase one another through narrow streets, and distant church bells toll with measured grace. From up here, it almost looks perfect, peaceful, thriving, oh. But I know the truth. Beneath the surface, cracks are spreading. The people see only a king who never falters, who strikes decisively and protects them with an iron hand. They do not see the man who spends his nights in silence, whispering apologies to a ghost. They do not see the blood on my hands, or the weight of every decision pressing against my chest until I can barely breathe. And they do not know that the greatest war I fight is not against my enemies, but against myself. I force myself to leave the balcony and return to my chambers. There is no time to indulge in grief, not today. The council awaits, and so do the messengers from the northern borders. War is brewing there, whispers of rebellion growing louder with each passing day. As I walk the corridors, my attendants trail behind me, their steps hurried, their faces carefully blank. They do not speak unless spoken to. I am grateful for their silence. My own thoughts are loud enough. I cannot stop thinking about last night, about the letter still lying crumpled on my desk. The words I wrote to you were the truest I've ever spoken, but they will never reach you. Because you are gone. Gone by my hand. It wasn't supposed to end like that. When I made the choice for you, it was out of love, or at least, that is what I told myself at the time. I thought I was saving you from pain, from danger, from the burden of this crown. You never wanted to rule, never wanted to be part of the vicious, unending struggle for power. You wanted a simple life, one filled with laughter and freedom, far away from these suffocating walls. And I wanted to give that to you. But the world does not bend to love, no matter how fiercely it burns. Enemies saw you as a weakness, a vulnerability they could exploit to bring me down. And when they came for you, I was not there to protect you. I arrived too late. You lay in my arms, your blood staining my hands, your breath shallow and fading. Even then, you smiled at me. Even then, you told me you loved me, that you forgave me. But I have never forgiven myself. Your death was the price of my decisions, of my arrogance in believing I could control fate. I had built walls around you to keep you safe, and yet somehow, death slipped through the cracks, and took you from me anyway. I carry you with me everywhere in the weight of my crown, in the silence of the halls, in the laughter of our son. Especially in him. He has your eyes. Your soft smile. The way he tilts his head when he's curious, just like you used to. Every time he looks at me, I am reminded of everything I lost. Everything I destroyed. And yet, he is my salvation too. He is the only piece of you I have left, and I will burn the world to keep him safe. That is why I have done what I have done. That is why I have become this cold, merciless ruler they all fear. Because if I falter, even for a moment, the walls will descend, and this time, they will take him too. I cannot allow that. When I enter the council chamber, their chatter ceases instantly. They bow low, eyes lowered, and I take my place at the head of the table. The reports are grim. The Northern Rebellion is gaining strength, and there are whispers of betrayal within the palace itself. I listen silent and still, my face a mask of calm authority. Inside I am a storm. I issue my commands swiftly. There will be no hesitation, no mercy. The rebellion will be crushed, its leaders executed publicly. The traitors within our walls will be hunted down and eradicated. My voice leaves no room for doubt or argument. The council obeys, as they always do. They fear me too much to defy me. But fear is a fragile thing. It can turn on you in an instant. As they bow and scatter, I am left alone with my thoughts once more. And for the briefest moment, I allow myself to whisper your name. If you were here, my love, I murmur, my voice breaking, you would tell me to stop, you would tell me that this path only leads to ruin. I close my eyes, letting the memory of your voice wash over me. But when I open them again, there is only silence. The king remains. The man you loved is gone. Later, when I return to our son's chambers, he is asleep, curled up beneath his blankets, his small hand clutching the wooden castle he built yesterday. I kneel beside his bed, brushing his hair back gently, and whisper, "My baby, I decided it for you." This time, the words are not an apology. They are a vow. I will keep making the chick. The march is endless. The rhythmic pounding of hooves, the relentless crunch of boots against frozen earth, the steady clatter of armor all blends into a single, merciless sound that follows me like a drumbeat of doom. The northern winds cut through even the thickest firs, howling across the plains, stinging my face, seeping into my bones. The men behind me are silent, their discipline absolute, but I can feel their unease, their fear simmering beneath the surface. They follow me because they believe in my strength, or perhaps because they are too afraid not to. Either way, it does not matter. Loyalty born of fear is still loyalty, and I will wield it as ruthlessly as I must. But as we ride, my mind drifts always back to you. I remember the last time we rode through these same lands together. The snow had been softer then, the sky a brilliant blue unmarred by storm clouds. You had laughed at how easily I shivered in the cold, pulling your cloak tighter around your shoulders, while teasing me for being a pampered royal unused to the hardships of travel. You were never afraid of these lands. You weren't afraid of anything. Even now, the memory of your laughter is like a knife in my chest. Because these same lands, that once held your joy, now reek of blood and treachery. As night falls, we make camp by the frozen river. Fires are lit in tight circles, their smoke spiraling upward into the ink-black sky. The men huddle close together, sharing quiet murmurs, sharpening their swords, repairing their armor. I retreat to my tent, away from their watchful eyes. A king must never show weakness, and tonight, I am dangerously close to breaking. Inside, the tent is dimly lit by a single lantern. Maps are spread across the table, marked with pins and notes from my spies. Each mark represents a village, a stronghold, a rebel hideout. Each one is a reminder of how far this rebellion has spread. It started as whispers. Now it is a fire threatening to consume my kingdom. And at the center of it all, their rallying cry is your name. I sink into the chair, and bury my face in my hands. It was my decision that sealed their hatred. My decision that turned you into a symbol, a martyr, a legend they can twist into whatever suits their cause. They do not speak of you as you were. They do not remember the woman who sang to our son when he had nightmares, or the one who wandered the gardens barefoot in the early morning dew, laughing as though the world itself could never touch her. To them, you are something else entirely now. You are an idea perfect, untouchable vision of hope. And I am the villain who destroyed it. Sometimes, I wonder if that is how our son will see me one day. If he will grow to hate me as they do. The tent flap rustles, and my general steps inside, bowing low before speaking. "My king," he says, his voice low and tense, "our scouts report that the rebels have gathered near the old fortress at Black Hollow. They are heavily fortified, but if we move at dawn, we can strike before they are fully prepared." Black Hollow. The name sends a chill down my spine. That fortress has stood for centuries, a dark relic of wars long past. It was abandoned for years until now. I nod, forcing my expression to remain cold and unreadable. Prepare the men, I order. At first light, we march. There will be no survivors. He hesitates, as though about to speak, then bows again and leaves without a word. When I am alone once more, I move to the small chest at the foot of my cot. Inside is a carefully wrapped bundle of silk, and within it, the last relic I have of you, a single ring, simple and unadorned, worn smooth by years of your touch. I take it in my palm and close my fist tightly around it, pressing it into my skin until it hurts. Do you see me now? I whisper into the empty tent. Do you see what I've become without you? The silence offers no answer. It never does. But in my mind, I hear your voice anyway, soft and distant, as though carried on the wind. You never wanted bloodshed. You never wanted power. You only wanted me to be a man you could be proud of. And I failed you. The next morning, the battlefield is drowned in mist. We descend upon Black Hollow with the full force of the crown, our banners snapping like angry flames against the pale sky. The rebels are caught off guard, their defenses crumbling beneath the weight of my army's fury. I ride at the front, my sword flashing in the dim light, cutting through enemy ranks like a blade through silk. The clash of steel, the screams of the dying, the acrid stench of smoke and blood, it all melds into a single, terrible symphony. I do not allow myself to think. I do not allow myself to feel. If I hesitate, even for a moment, it will all unravel. The battle rages for hours, until finally, the last of the rebels are driven to their knees. Among the captives, I see their leader, a grizzled man with hate burning